Wahoo everybody. How you doing?
Good.
Roll's back.
I'm glad to hear you all's tone. And happy holidays to you, and happy New Year, I think, because there are some dark days ahead. Who has that first spiritual experience they'd like to share with us?
I have one.
Very good. Very good. And dark days is not going to apply to everybody. Go ahead.
I've been seeing a lot, and I mean a lot of crafts, like almost on a daily basis, and taking videos.
Right. I know. They've been getting close to me, too, in various ways.
Yeah, and I've been hearing
getting
that.
Contacted a lot.
Yeah, and I've been hearing that frequency a lot in my ears, too.
Well, listen, when you hear that frequency, get comfortable and sit in a chair, preferably straight back. Put your open palms on your thighs and have your feet about 2 feet apart. You need to have your spine very straight. You can do this with your eyes open or closed, but breathe very deeply until you feel that runner's high, right? And then clap your hands together so that the palms make that sound, that hollow sound. Do that several times, and you feel the blood circulating through your hands. And then make that same sound, pitch frequency, that you hear. Amun. Go up that same pitch frequency, and you open your eyes and look over your head, and you see a craft. Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I'm trying to show you how to make them personify at will. All right.
Okay.
You see, what a lot of people who don't overstand is that reality is not really a physical reality, right? We've been programmed to believe since birth that this is solid, actual, and time-bound, but this is really all a mental creation, right? Because you are spiritual beings having a physical experience. What you really are, again, is enigma, meaning, and I say it the same way redundantly so that you can teach this, that if you're sitting in a chair or at home and you can see another empty space, a couch, chair, or even the floor that you could sit, then imagine that you sit over there in that place, the empty place. Now, I'm going to beg your imagination that you invoke it. And imagine that I take your soul and put over there in that empty chair. Really see it. And then I put your spirit over there. Your etheric aspect. I put your personality over there. I put your emotions over there. I put your feelings over there. Your emotions. And I put all your thoughts over in that other empty chair. The question is, what would be here with us on the phone if I did that? What would be left here on the phone? Everybody?
Nothing.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That nothing is what you call your physical form. You follow what I'm saying? Because everything that constitutes the real you does not belong to this realm. So the confusion is people have been so programmed to believe that they're physical when you're told that we are all created in the image and likeness of God. The confusion should be, then how are there men and women, adults and children, black and white and different racial people, fat and thin, old and young, etc., all these different physical attributes. That's to say that God is all these different things. But God is not physical. Logic tells you that. So the image and likeness of God is the inner being, because he is within you is greater than he was in the world. He created you of sounding clay, of black mud fashioned into shape. When he made complete your physical form, he then blew into your nostrils of his breath, Ruah, and you became by that a living soul. There is a distinction people have asked me many times. What is the distinction between spirit and soul? Everything living is animated with a spirit. Everything has a spirit. Hey, take your go. Everything does not have a soul. The so-called white man does not have a soul. The spirit is the animated part of you that gives you personality. You can change your personality. That's why white people are so good at acting. You can create a persona or a personality. But your soul is separate and distinct in that it is the emotional body, and it gives you the ability to care. How do you know that white people are devoid of soul? Because when they drop bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they know that there are women and children and elderly there, etc., not just soldiers that are fielded as an opponent in war. But they don't have it when it's time to kill all the children in Atlanta, or when you keep hearing on the news that they break into schools and murder dozens of little kindergarten children and blow them in so many pieces their parents can't identify them without DNA testing. And you hear this over and over again. However, I know people are saying, yeah, but what about this guy in New Orleans right there? There are exceptions. And if you look at him very good, his eyes, and he's a Creole, so he's not really a solid black either. So understand he's hearing voices. But there's a distinction between soul and spirit, because everybody, like I said, has been animated with the espiritus, a spirit, as it's said in Spanish, but not a ruah, a soul. Your soul has to evolve inside of you to become a living soul. And again, it gives you your ability to feel or have compassion, right? Now, I thought that was emotional to clarify. I mean, that was important to clarify. Also, there's some abstract words like, with the Messiah came grace. And people are thinking, well, what is that really? That's a voluminous term. But grace really is forgiveness. Grace is forgiveness, which is a true gift from the Most High to a lost people that have been spellbound in a dark world. The Messiah Jesus is here to offer guidance by way of truth and spiritual guidance out of the darkness. And by that, you're being given grace. The Messiah, or Mashiach, means to wipe clean. And Kim is doing a wonderful job by bringing people to class frequently. Like the last young sister he brought that was saying to me that you can't change or help my life, you can't perform miracles, and you're not the Savior. Wrong, because Messiah means to wipe clean, the Savior. You follow me? One anointed with spiritual oil. I'd also like to communicate an update from Panababianu. Okay. Now let me ask, is anybody here from 267? Please respond.
I'm here.
All right. Everybody here from 712?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Everybody here from 504?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're not the only one in 504 though, right?
504, we can't hear you in.
You can't hear me?
In 504, no, sir.
Well, why don't you get them to change over to a number that they can hear me? Wouldn't that be logical?
Yes, sir.
Before time passes, they all drift off. I can't emphasize the seriousness of this mission. And if I could get people to please get excited about it, electric about it, and understand this is not a clown thing like looking at the movie eating popcorn, saving souls. There is no higher purpose. There is nothing more intending or important or urgent. Nothing. All right? Is everybody here from 774? All right. Now, Rahubat. Okay, mute your phones. This is written by Panabab Yanun. Rahubat, greetings. As I come before you this day on paper with pen in hand, my heart is filled with much pain for this world. Most don't accept me for what I really am or have become by those beings that chose to use me. Yes, I hurt till water falls from my eyes for those that think they can be a me or judge me by their belief system. Human between human, for I am not. I often wish I were human, for you have been given so much to feel. I spoke from 1973 when I returned from Egypt, as well as many other places. My cup runs over, so much to say, and given only 2.5 years to make 1970. That was the year of the opening of the seventh seal, and I was 19 years old, which is my number. For the long walk on the short path, remember that's very significant, because he was taken on a long walk for the short path as well as myself. For the long walk on the short path was from 1973 on its way to alignment. I was told then by the three, Krill, Alamar, and Sa'at, the little ones who were with me from my youth, what was to come. They would visit me in New Jersey, Teaneck, New Jersey, right, and draw symbols for me. Then ask, do you see? Once I did, I could only ask, is there another way? They would look at each other, then back at me and say, nothing. I knew what that meant. So time passed. I grew to manhood, moved from place to place. They would come to me, school me, said, we can use these books, yet they mean nothing to us, but humans seem to want to live by them. So we will use them for a time. You look then, look again, and on the third time, you will see inside of any put in front of you. In other words, any person standing in front of you or any being, you would be able to look inside. The same way I make mind links with you when you move stars. And this did happen to me. I was always alone, Rahubat. I was always alone, no matter how many people were around me. I did things for others, not myself. I was alone. I am alone. But being you all don't seem to give as I have, and don't know if you really will bring me out. Let me tell you all what they showed me. It will hurt. You may not even trust me, but it will come to pass, as it is numbered by the movement of the sun, moon, and stars. Go back to 1973. They came from the sea, Amun-Rayay. Add on 19, as it comes out in half years. You come to 1993 at Amun-Rayay. The sun is born. Then on 19 years, 2012. Then on 19 years, 2012, at Amun-Rayay, I tried to show you, as they did with me, symbols over the years. Well, now, I will make it plain. Please don't talk, library. You gotta stop interrupting the class.
Yes, sir, that's not
You
me.
can't just,
That's not me.
okay. Don't talk in the background.
Whatever you do is doing the worst way.
Could you just stop being the devil and shut up? Hey, be quiet. I know you hear me.
You should tell him that he's starving.
You know how to mute your phone? Start with your phone, sister. Now, go back to 1973. They came from the sea. Amun-Rayay. Add on 19 as it comes out in half years. You come to 1993. Are you possessed?
Don't even think on
Yes.
Now, can you all hear me? You hear me? Y'all can't hear me.
Understood.
All right. I tried to show you, as they did with me, symbols over the years. Well, now, I will make it plain. This planet is in the middle of 4 cycles. South movement, Anun. East movement, Atun. North movement, Atun. And West movement, Amun. We have the alignment coming. We are now moving between 1973 and 1993, moving on to 2012. And I was taking up 213 with him. 326.13 precisely. You may ask, what does this mean? This planet is on a 23-degree axis, tilted. Now the ice is melting up north. Shut up, devil. 23 degrees. The water will flood this third part of the planet, the Western world, or West movement, by the year 2012, as there will be the sun, galactic center, or high sun, Amun-Rayay on 2012, a meltdown, and so much more. And those children of the green light, should have been taken by Amun-Rayay, setting or 19 years to 2031. Same as I spoke to you in 1970, plus 30 equals 2000, or 1/2 hour. Now, let me clarify. That doesn't mean that you have 5 more years or 6 more years. What that's saying is that the children of the green light should have been taken by me, Amun-Rayay, free to ascend with this information by 2031. That doesn't mean that it can't happen today, or it hasn't happened, or it won't happen tomorrow or tonight, all right? 2 cycles, 6,000 years moon cycle, 6,000 years sun cycle, 6,000 years moon cycle. Add lastly 6,000 years sun cycle, or Atun, that 24,000 years, the equinox. But with planet on a 23-degree axis, you also get 26,000 years of the procession, 26,000 years cycle, the meltdown, then the blackness again. Once the sun is aligned, it will set in the west, Amun, without the ray. The world will become blackness, the black sun, again, the deep Anun, the sea people, the reptiles. They showed me the end. I asked, is there another way? They looked at each other, then back at me. I knew what that meant. Also, I want to inject that in regards to the Injil, there's some telling you that that book is outdated, you don't need it. But Revelations is a book that he will grace with. to give you clarity about the last days, all right, in which we're totally involved in the last days. So what logical sense would it make to get rid of a book that's informing you about the last days when you're in the throes or middle of the last days? Right. None. Okay. They drew, and this is a triangle-shaped craft apparently, like the one that came to me while Darius Palmer was with me. They came to me and they drew and said, look for this sign in the heavens. They gave me the dates and times. A great ball of fire will follow the water between December 21st, 2012 AD on to 2031. Most will have already died by hate, war, disease, fire, meltdown. I asked, why are you telling me if there's nothing I can do? Again, they looked at one another. This time, Syed said to me, mind to mind, with his head tilted 23 degrees on what looked like a smile, but you can do something. You will do something. You will save many. I asked, how? He said, not how, but why. So I said, why? He said, because that's how it must be. Some seeds of each world must be saved to refill the planet after. I said, hereafter? He said, some here, others there. And he pointed up to the sky, Amun. I saw the Orion star constellation, the star system. Then he said, there will be a bright star in the heavens. Venus will help the solar alignment as part of that sign. You will know, we just recently saw a sign in the crescent moon and star, the ring that I wear. Then he said, there will be a bright star in the heavens. Venus will help the solar alignment as part of that sign. You will know, but you will suffer much, be hated by many, be betrayed by those you came to save. You will be thought a fool by those who showed you their way of doing things. You will become weak. They will have to reach into the rock for you. And I want to remind you that he repeatedly said that the only one that's going to get me out of here is Atman. That's myself. Once the sun shines on you again, you will have full power and know each step to take to save them. Only those who stay close to you, many will shrink away. Don't worry. Then each touched me and left. For that meeting, they come from time to time. They speak with me, and each time telling me more things I won't say unless asked. Some I wish not to repeat. Others is so nice I repeat them over and over to myself. But I can't say unless asked. And you can't ask unless you study all I have said from 1970, return 1973, vortex open, 1983. Open 1993, every 10 years, right? Open, they always come to me by way of the opening of the vortex, as man from Planet Risk explained. Last I saw them was 2003, as I told you. Next will be 2013. That's the time he and I were taken up together. Next will be 2013 on the decline of Amun-Rayay, on up to Amun-Rayay, and see who is all ready for the great trip. But we must be back in Africa. It's not going to be flooded, but that great ball of fire that is already on its way here. Even in Africa, you will find no place to hide. Only if taken. Oh, how this hurts. For they showed me visions in my dreams of all the death caused by the evil beings. So much pain and suffering the world is about to see. I have to tell you now, for I don't know if you have the faith in yourselves to overcome the evil one this time. He knows who I am, and he knows who I am too, and what I represent to him. He knows about the black sun. He sees his world cycle ending, but he works very timeless to keep control by fear of him and what he can do to hurt you, kill you, imprison you. But it means nothing at all to the old ones. They knew this time. I gave you a clock, but you ignore it. I gave you a calendar, you ignore it. I gave you the sundial, you ignore it. I drew the 4 suns, you never asked what they really mean. What else can I give you? I gave you my life, and I do too. Each day lived for you. Spent my days, my nights with you, doing what you asked. Built 3 holy cities for you. You let the evil one destroy them. I showed more love for you than my own DNA genes, or family, right? But in return, you imprisoned me, took away my freedom. My only joy was you all. I walked with you, ate with you, slept, prayed, joked, and even cried with you. I gave you my all. I have nothing left. Those I loved departed from me. Once I had nothing else to give them. My own children look on but won't help me. I have nothing. I have no one. I am dead in prison all alone. They won't be back until 2013. That's our year. But by then, who knows what will become of me? So I must write this to you all now and say every human thing I ever learned from you. You did not know it, but you did not follow me. I followed you. I did what I thought you wanted me to do, or what I thought you all did. As I heard, I repeated. I lived by you all. I was raised to bring nothing but truth. No care for titles, names, or beliefs, only facts. Me too. All other movements, feelings I showed, I got from you. So, I am sorry. For anyone that was hurt by me. I did what I saw you do, that's all. Now we'll close this for now and wait to hear what is next to do from you all. Alright? Amun-Rayay. It's an unlit world to me now. Can I call myself Pops? And he shows the 4 suns here in a diagram. Now the thing is you all, I sent you out posts, emails. The question is how many of you have posted that post up and read those attachments and all the information that I go out of my way to put together and send you? How many of you received that post in email or Facebook or otherwise?
I did.
Yes, I have. I did.
All right. How many of you read the attachments or even knew they were there?
I did.
I did.
Nobody's really paying attention, right?
Some of it.
You see,
No,
not
we are.
some of you have to read all of it, my dear sister. All right. Now, I'd like to share a few more things with you all here, if I might. Just a second. What happened to me? All right. I have a student, a secret disciple, named Michael Mumford. He's an ex-Marine, and he's a fireman and an EMS worker, right? And he contracted SMA, a terrible skin disease, the same as James Brown, the Godfather of Soul's son, Darrell Brown, right? Because he too was like half white or Mexican or something, pale. And this MRA disease is so chronic, it breaks out all over your skin and a terrible itching. It's so terrible it can actually kill you. And I healed both of them at the same time with the green light. And they reported to me that as they took hot shower, that this MRA peeled off their skin and they watched it float down the drain and it's never come back again in all these years. They were really relieved, right? Now, Michael Mumford has a family and they're all like him. You know, his mother, his auntie, his uncle, Fournay, they call him Skipper, and his cousin Nathan, right? And all of these people contracted cancer, right? I know you're thinking, how could that be that a whole family gets cancer? But that's what happened in this case. And I have healed many families. Anyway, Fournay Mumford wrote this to me. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer and was set up to start radiation treatment. I decided instead to try a holistic regime that my nephew, talking about Michael, exposed me to. I consulted with Dr. Larry Darrensburg and Brother Ahmed. He thought I was two different people. And they put me on a 6-month treatment plan. I went back to my cardiologist, what is this, somnologist, for a biopsy. At the end of 6-month plan, and there was no evidence of the cancer. I'm so glad I took my nephew's advice, and I'm so grateful to Dr. Larry Darrensburg and Brother Ahmed for Fournay Mumford. All right. Now, the doctors in the clinic wrote a personal note, and I don't know why, but this is what they said. This is Dr. Kadia and Dr. Field, the Cleveland Urology Clinic. I had a patient with prostate cancer as determined by a biopsy in March of 2010. The patient opted for some holistic treatments as opposed to radiation therapy. He came back to us for a biopsy in December of 2010, and there were no signs of the cancer. Whatever he was taking or whoever he was with seemed to have worked. I encouraged him to continue his regimen and set up a follow-up appointment for after 6 months. Cleveland Urology, Dr. Kadia and Dr. Field. And I have here also a copy of the lab report of the diagnosis and the cure, etc. You all should have that too. Okay? And here's something that you should learn from. His cousin, Nathan Mumford, who was the son of Fournay, contracted colon cancer. And he had a tumor that was so large, it was inoperable. In other words, the tumor was so large that if they tried to remove it surgically, the surgery would kill him. So Mike brought Nathan to me, and Nathan was never a believer, really. I would ask him to go outside and let me move stars, and he always demurred or declined, and he was very hesitant, and by that, I think maybe he probably couldn't have seen it. He was so, in other words, he was so spellbound by what he thought was the physical reality that he didn't even want to consider anything spiritual, especially with somebody black, as they were mostly passing for white. Okay, to whom it may concern, I'm writing this letter to let people know how Brother Ahmed has helped me beat colon cancer I had stage 4 colon cancer. Now, those of you that know, stage 4 that's you beyond help. You hear me? And that's what Minkari had in Mississippi, stage 4 colon cancer. And I had healed him twice, and then something crawled in him, and he broke away. I had stage 4 colon cancer, and once I found out, I turned to Brother Ahmed for his assistance. I was supposed to do 12 bouts of chemo. Brother Ahmed's regimen of herb, pills, colon cleanse, tumor shrink. In other words, he asked the doctors how much would it have to shrink. They said it would have to shrink by half before they could operate safely. Well, I sent him a lot of comedian, laughing. He said by laughter and no stress, and a vegetarian diet, heavy with broccoli, spinach, onions, lemons, and kale, and all of the foods high in alkaline. With that, but he doesn't understand it was the green light I was sending him that was healing him actually. Because people that have received healings from me from cancer, chronic cancer, and AIDS, and herpes, and incurable things, trust me, it's not happening through any herbs or diet. But I give those to people as a placebo. Because like Darrell Brown, James Brown's son, said to me one time, when I was a little boy, if I was sick, as soon as they got me to the doctor, I started feeling better. You see? Because I want to use you all's belief in whatever you believe in to add to the cure. Okay? I want to thank Brother Ahmed for all the love and knowledge he has given my family. And he is a part of our family now. Sincerely, Nathan Mumford. Right? And I sent you all a copy of one of the letters sent to me by Father Babianu. And I want to share that with you. In the name of all, I greet you, my beloved son and great and noble pastor, Mr. Larry Darrensburg, the one and only, for the near of the hour. Yes, this is the days we used to sit and talk about, the times all the scriptures are found in the mother of scrolls spoke about. The 4 cycles, the fall of Babylon, Iraq, the fires of torments for the new Sodom and Egypt, this new land of Canaan, of the Amoritians. Cursed be all they do. But as we look at that great clock on the walls of Sahu Orion, we see time is not on his side. The 6,000 years has ended, and many standing off from afar look, watch, and listen to the cries for such evils of Leviathan, yet none will help. As the son of Zodok rise with healing in his flight, for the Melanites' children, the true son of the green light, Pa Nuapat, children of the Most High, Amun-Rayay, on to Pa Rasunat, the Enneads. Well, my son, we have walked together for many years. That is, took that long walk on that short path. As we always tried to do the best we could, we respected or took a second look, respect, at Mother Hathor. Hathor, she was there for us. Now that our hair is silver, our eyes grow dim. With our minds, we can lift the stone that we cannot move, the capstone of our temple, our dome, to receive the crown of eternal life. Do you feel me, my son? Right? And I'm going to stop there because it goes into personal business after that. But that said, and he says frequently that he and I are one. I'm saying that because I've been feeling his presence lately, and I know that in the end, which is now, that he and I will walk together again. And we will sit under a tree, as he said, and talk again and drink that green tea. All right. Now, who has a spiritual experience? Yes.
This I just jumped in. I heard you say something about the capstone. Did that have anything to do with you traveling at the top of the dome with the pyramid?
Well, no, not to the top of the pyramid, but that's the way I got there. It's by use of what they call the Einstein-Rosen bridge. Albert Einstein and a guy called Rosen, they broke this theory about stargates. right?
Okay.
So what it is that you all are waiting for shams, for 2,480 shams that capable of carrying 50 passengers each to come and retrieve you. What the slaves sung about when they used to say, swing low, sweet chariots, coming for to carry me home. Band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. They were waiting for the crafts to come down and swing down, because in biblical times, in antiquity, before they knew about modern technology, they frequently referred to UFOs as chariots of fire and chariots this and that, right? So swing low, sweet chariot. But what the shams really are is that if you remember in the Holy Tablets, Maror, in chapter 7, it gave you diagrams of a man turning himself into a what?
Sham.
A ship, a sham.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what the name of those divine crafts are. And the name sham, in English, they turn that to mean a farce or something not true. Of course, right? But you know that when you look at the sham, and if you want to look at them now, write down Ed Walters, Gulf Breeze, Florida. UFOs.
Yeah. I studied it.
Not just you. I mean everybody. Ed Walters, Gulf Breeze, Florida, UFOs. And you'll see a lot of that on YouTube and also on general search. But they're shaped like a crown or like a dome. You know, when somebody say they'll crack you on your dome, what are they talking about? Hitting you on your elbow?
Head.
Yeah.
On your head. The dome is the head. You hear me? So what happens is that the spirit, in other words, the physical part of you is the mortal, and the spiritual aspect of you is God. That's why he was within you is greater than he was in the world, right? And you have to learn to turn yourself inside out and your perspective of who and what you are. Because that internal light inside of you is what he blew into you, the spirit that makes you maintain a constant body temperature of 98.6. Or when you exercise, you burn calories from that heat. Or you can get mad and it'll raise your kundalini, right? Or if a person supposedly dies, they become cold because the spirit of pilot light leaves the body. Now, during the day, that spirit and your flesh are always at war because your spirit is always struggling to be freed from the flesh, believe it or not. It's trapped in this small little morass, and it wants to be in an expanded reality like it's accustomed to. But an example of the war is when you're trying to decide on what to eat for lunch between a pig foot and a salad, and your higher self or the spirit tells you eat the salad, is healthier for you, and your lower carnal self demands the pig foot. Are you following me? And they go back and forward until sometimes somebody, maybe your child in another room, hears you talking to yourself in the kitchen, and they say, Mama, Daddy, who you talking to in there? And you laugh and say, you caught me, child. I'm in here what? Talking to myself. It sounds like a dual conversation between the Most High and the devil, which is the carnal or physical body, the shade thing, in which you all are so thoroughly engaged as the only reality that's significant to you. But during the day, the spirit and the flesh are like equally matched warriors grappling for dominance, right? But at night, when the physical brain and the physical body shuts down for slumber, the spiritual aspect of you raises up in vibration because it never sleeps. And when it raises up in vibration, it acts freely on the flesh. It'll travel up the light corridor of your spine. It does every night. That's your spinal column. That's Jacob's ladder. It's got 33 notches and it corresponds to 33 degrees in Freemasonry. It has 7 seats, seals, and chakras in it, or the 7 heavens. And when it travels up past the lotus breastplate, or the midway point, the 4th plane, Malachite, the realm of the angels, it'll raise up past the laryngeal seat and the pineal gland, and then finally it gets to the crown molar at the top of your head. At the top of your head, you have a thin, transparent, hollow tube attached to it. It's like a cobweb that is hollow, and that etheric tube connects you to your oversoul. It's like the umbilical cord that attaches the baby to the walls of the uterus and the mother. So in essence, when the cord is cut, the baby dies from out of one reality, that's the first death, and is born when turned upside down and spanked. The pain causes it to cry, which forces to inhale oxygen and prana, that flammable gas that when inhaled and circulates through your system, hits that internal fire or sun, ignites a spark that creates a tumbling that binds the spirit to the mud to create the living soul. And you begin your zero time reference here on Earth, or your first day on planet Earth. But anyway, that ball of light travels up to the temple, which is not a building down the street, but the place on the side of your head, and connects with that, the mouth of that etheric tube, raises up in vibration, and it expands in the opening, like a woman dilating to give birth. And then the real you, or the spiritual you, created in the image and likeness of God, travels out of your temple into that hollow tube. Like you say, people in near-death experiences describe as going through a tunnel. Then you feel like you're flying and floating, and what you think is a dream, but it's actually reality, an astral flight, an OBE, out-of-body experience. You go to different places until you achieve what it is you want to do. Then you start descending back down into your body, like on sliders. You slide back down that tube, and you have a sensation like you've fallen sometimes, and you get scared. But remember, you never hit the ground because you didn't come from the ground. You came from the top of your head. Then when you slide back down into your head or temple to reanimate your flesh, some of you achieve consciousness and then try to move your body and got afraid a second time because you couldn't move. That's called sleep paralysis, and people in the country describe that as a witch riding your back. Then that ball of light slid back down the light corridor of your spine, back down Jacob's ladder, and then properly reseated in the solar plexus, and so it could trigger electrical impulses through nerve ganglia that hit certain muscles in precise ways to cause them to shrink and expand, so you could operate fingers and eventually toes, and that body was reanimated to life again, right? Because you, the real you, is like a passenger in a car. And when you leave the car is just an inanimate object. That's what your body is. It's only an object. But you become so accustomed to it, you think it's the real you and the only you. It's not. But to take it further, your dome is your head. And when that light ascends up your spinal column to the top of your head, and it's halfway in your head and halfway outside in that tunnel, which is transparent, people that look at you can see a light shining around your head very bright, like those pictures of Jesus and Mary, where you see that light around their head. That's that light. That's the crown. That is the craft. Because you, as a spiritual being, as God, are not trapped in the physical plane. And you don't have boundaries like walls and distance and time and things like that. So that crown is the sham that you take flight in every night. That's the vehicle, the Markaba, the movable throne that you use in order to travel to India or to your school or to visit your mother at night, okay? And this happens every night, and what you think is a dream, right? But everybody waiting on crafts think they're a physical phenomenon. But another word for shams is spoofa, as taught by Panabambiano, spoofa. And what spoofa are, if you look it up, is when you look at ancient sites, you'll find that they got little round compartments on top of them that look like a mosque or something. A little bitty building big enough to house a couple of people. But those are places that they go into to meditate. Are you following me? And while you meditate or make that journey within, they learn to master raising up their lights, raise it up, and then they take flight like shams, and that's how they ascend. It's not by waiting for craft to come down to you, because see, the angelic beings used to frequently come down to this plane to visit you. Gabriel and many of them, and some still do, my friend. Anyway, now they're waiting for you to evolve to the point that you remember how to raise up and go back up to help, go back to visit them on higher planes. Are you following me? But you have to understand that your physical body is the illusion, and so is physical reality. Your body is not real. It's not a solid fixity. You take x-rays, and if your body was solid, they couldn't see through it. Do you understand? I'm telling you that you're a spiritual being having a physical experience, and you have to stop thinking of spirit associating it with death. It's not that. It's life. It's the life of everything that lives is the spirit. You are a whole light being. You were a whole being before you took on the clothing of flesh. You were placed inside the womb of your mother and the scrotum of your father 3 months before they came together in a conjugal or sexual sense. You follow me? So your term in pregnancy was not 9 months, as you were led to believe, but actually 12. They know this. That's why your birthday is every 12 months and not every 9 months. You follow? So now, what I'm saying to you is that I want to emphasize that you're a whole light being, and you're not a partial being. When you dream that you visit people in your sleep, or make love to your favorite man or woman, and achieve a nocturnally, ejaculate in your sleep, you don't feel like you're missing nothing, and you can feel it just like you can in what you call real life. In fact, in real life, many times you have had sex and didn't achieve an orgasm. So you have to ask yourself, which lover was the realist? You see? My point is this. You have to learn to break away from the illusions that spirit and death are associated. Because spirit is life. It's life. It's the eternal life that you had before you descended or became a fallen angel down in this place. When you were a spirit being, you have to remember that when you fell down in flesh, you started feeling hunger, and you could be cold, and you were set on a timer so that you only had a specific lifespan, so that ever since the second you were born, with every second that passes, you get further from birth and closer to death. But now, we're back to guide you into the reality, and if everyone lit just one little candle, post your post up, what a bright world this would be. To the new heaven and the new earth, for the former things, the physical things, will have passed away. It's said there that there'll be no more hunger, no more pain, no more crying, no more death, for the former things will have passed away. Well, the only logical way that can be true, this paradise of heaven where there be no more death or pain or sickness, hunger, etc., is that you'd have to be a spiritual being. Because when you fell from grace, that's why I'm here to bring you back grace. Then you became a lowly physical being, and you were susceptible or vulnerable to disease, COVID-19, and different things like hunger and pain, etc. But when you're in heaven, none of those things can touch you. You follow me? No more time, no more hunger, no more crying, no more death, no more fear, for the former things will have passed away. Now, in order to get you to reconnect with that reality, it's going to take very powerful and specific teachings and direct guidance from somebody sent from your Creator, not a university professor, because this information is universal. You hear me? You're going to have to learn and get this grace, and you'll be saved by the Messiah through being uplifted through this information, and there is no way to the Father except through the Son. So people that are saying, well, I can find my own way, I can reconnect, I'm on my own path, living delusional and deceiving themselves, and they're really on a speed train on the way to hell. You follow me? And they could be nice people. It's just that they're on the way to hell, and they don't know it. They're on a bullet train to hell. And we're in the end days, and there's not any time for compromise or anything like that. And unfortunately, people, when they hear things that are strange or foreign to them, they associate that with irreality. They think, by the way, it's not true, it's not real, because they're not looking for the truth. What they're looking for really is confirmation of their already preconceived, erroneous, weak beliefs. Now, they know that they've been programmed in a system such as the system that brought forth slavery and that separated them from education. Was a time it was illegal for them to be caught reading a book or a Bible. It was an offense punishable by death to be hung. And right now, they have laws enacted to stop woke, W-O-K-E. They want people to sleep. They burn books and etc., try to block African history and all these things because they want to keep you stupid and broke down, a fallen angel, dead to the world until the inevitable descends on you and hits you like a shoe that you drop on a roach that stinker's hiding. You got me? But I'm here to wake you up and save you from that dreadful event or that pit of fire, that smokeless pit. Now, I'd like to ask you all for questions that you might have about what I went over with you so far or anything else. This is a question and answer class. So what's that first question? I'll do my best.
I got one. Okay,
Very
now
good.
when I was looking at the post yesterday, I wanted to know what do those symbols mean?
You wanted to know what those symbols were.
Yes.
And there's a simple answer that is really unexplainable, is that this sheet that I just read to you, I copied it in the computer twice and had it embossed on paper. But now, when I copied it to the email, that's the way it came out, and I don't know why. I can tell you this. I think about interference from the spiritual realm. One time, we were in the Brown Mirror in Atlanta, and Malachi was passing out what he called pass keys, especially the females, but to certain brothers as well. Special symbols that he gave to the chosen, 144,000. And they had one that was given to a brother of mine, Investigator Robinson's wife. And they were excited about it because they brought it to me, because when they copied it, it kept saying on the paper and print, and I still have copies of it, Larry Darrensburg, Ockman, Larry Darrensburg, all over the symbol, all over the paper. No matter how many times, not the original one, you couldn't see that. But when they tried to copy it, my name was all over it, over and over again, right? And it insinuated that they should come to me, right?
Yeah,
but they
because
didn't understand.
Oh, I apologize. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All I was going to say is when I was reading the post and I was looking at it, that's what I was thinking, that it came, from higher up.
It did. That was interference from on high. And if you examine it closer, there may be a message in there for you and all those that are curious enough to look at it and examine it, right? But you all should take these posts very seriously and stop being led down the primrose path into this delusion deeper and deeper before you meet up with the inevitable. I'm telling you, time is up here, and you're supposed to be spending your time here on earth reconnected with the reality of who and what you really are. Because ultimately, what this ends up in is that if you're lucky, it'll be aging, but some die in childbirth. But if you work your whole life accumulating wealth and family and all the things you think you love and you're attached to your reality, inevitably you meet up with Mortimer. You'll die, go to the mortuary, have a funeral, and when they drop into your body a casket down in the earth, all those people that you thought you loved and they loved you, the only real love is the Most High, as they'll stand around uncomfortably for a while, and as soon as they have to go to the bathroom when they get hungry, you're going to hear nothing but footsteps walking away from your grave. I don't care how much you think they love you. And all the way home, what they're going to be arguing about is who's going to get what over what you left behind. You can believe that. That's what's true. So much for that love and your worldly attachments. Simply put, you can't take none of that with you, right? And when you get down in that grave, there'll be left nothing except the infinite master, the Most High. And he better have a smile on his face, because if you spent your whole time on the surface of the earth trying to accumulate physical wealth and emotional attachments to different people, you're going to be because of the biggest loss. The biggest loss. You hear me? And you'd be introduced to the house of pain. Because those of you that are asleep in this, so shall you be in the next. In other words, you're not going to walk around this earth dumb. And I mean, you can be stupid with a PhD. You understand? And then die and wake up all of a sudden you have epiphany and you know what's going on, you woke and all. No, it's not like that. Those of you that are asleep in this, so shall you be in the next. You die dumb, you wake up dumb, and you're sentenced to hell, and you begin your eternal sentence in the bottomless pit of horror. Do you understand? All right. Next question.
I have a question.
I'll do my best.
I want to know, Messiah, if you have to be asleep to have an out-of-body experience.
No, you don't.
Or not necessarily.
No, that's what meditation is greater than prayer. Well, that's what I meant by a spoofer. If you all look it up, and you've been pretty good about looking things up, look up spoofer or meditation, and you'll see that in all these ancient sites, they have a place for people to go in and to do meditation. And that's where you turn yourself inside out into a craft and take flight. And you don't have to be physically asleep in order to achieve that. But you have to learn how to focus and separate yourself from the illusion of physical reality. You learn to focus. And I used to send you all candles, battery-operated candles, so that you can make yourself comfortable and in the dark, focus on the blaze and the different colors and watch how it seems to blow even when the doors are closed, and how the colors fluctuate and change. And as you get so involved in analyzing the flame, that it shuts off all distractions around you. Now, it's not total focus like a master that can just cut the world off and make the journey within and reconnect with the spirit, but it is a highly focused, a focal point that'll knock out 90% of the distractions around you and allow you to make that journey within. For example, people here have been taught to keep praying to connect with God. But the reality of that is that God is always in connection with you and always talking to you. He's that silent voice that told you to eat the salad in the kitchen, right? But what people are doing, they've been conditioned to keep transmitting. They use their third eye, a pineal gland, to keep transmitting. They want people to understand what they mean. I want to make myself clear. Or even when they talk to God, they want to tell him this and tell him that. and ask for this, when they know logically that the God they believe in or profess to believe in knows everything already. So, being that he knows everything, what exactly is it that you're trying to tell him that he doesn't already know? You follow me? So you have to learn to reverse your polarity and start taking information and let God talk to you. Stop talking to God. Everybody is using their masculine polarity with their third eye transmitting. And your mind, like a tape recorder, can't play and record at the same time. But you're constantly playing and not recording. Now, one meditative exercise for that is to sit with your eyes either open or closed, which is easiest for you, is preferable, and imagine a ball of green light about 3 feet in diameter, maybe 4 feet in front of you, and then create the sense of inflow. Draw that big ball of light closer and closer to your forehead, the third eye area, until it makes contact, and then with your mind and imagination, pull it into your head until it's totally inside or surrounding your head, right? And you learn then to create a sense of inflow and learn again how to start receiving rather than constantly transmitting, right? And while that light is surrounding and enveloping your head, I want you to imagine that there's a ball of white light coming out of the top of your crown molar straight up, about 3 feet above your head. Then it bursts into 3 lights, and they revolve around in a circle, then merge back into one white light again and drop back down into your head. And this will help you with ascension, astral flight, or OBE. So if you have trouble remembering these instructions, learn to keep playing these classes over and over again. We sent you out a class list in the post. I sent you out a lot of information that is really you desperately need, and people are not paying attention to these posts. And your most important job is you're supposed to be taking these posts and posting them up to millions of people at least twice a week to the entire world. Don't be niggardly or selfish. We're not going through all this just for you. Even though we're doing it for you, beloved, it's because you, as disciples of the Lamb, are supposed to be communicating these light messages to the world. Because if it's not all the way right, it's not right at all. It's not about you going to heaven, just you. Because we're not an individual, we're not an I, we're a us. Do you understand? There is no us without you. And there is no you without us. You understand that? Sometimes I gotta get mine and be something niggardly like the devil. You understand? Get these posts and post them up everywhere in Telegram, Facebook, and in major large groups to everybody. What's the matter? You don't have 20 minutes a week to focus on a mission as urgent as this for the noblest job that you could ever imagine? Saving souls is more important than being a doctor doing heart transplants. You can't save a body. You can just put it on temporary hold because it's going to inevitably die. But you're trying to save souls. Go to work and stop playing and make yourself worthy of earning your crown of eternal life. Like Yanun and I already have. You follow me? I'm inviting you to paradise and into eternity, to your long home. Don't miss me. I won't be back again. This is our last time coming. All right. Did I answer your question? If not, just turn it and I'll approach it from another direction, my good sister.
Yes, you have. But I'm kind of wondering. You said you sometimes pull us out from our body. That's quite a weird experience several years ago, and I wasn't sure if I was up to now, if I've gone back in my body because
Okay, describe what you experienced. Speak up, please.
Yeah, I'm saying it was nice. It was just in the day, and I didn't have the intention, but I'm just wondering if our ancestors have a way of doing these things, because I was just standing up in my kitchen, and next thing I know, I felt myself come out my body, and it was a weird experience because I felt like my
were you awake or asleep?
I was awake, wide awake.
Okay.
I felt like I was still standing there, but something was being pulled out my body.
And you were standing. Okay, that's good.
I was standing. So I didn't know what happened because I wasn't.
I know what happened. Welcome home. Welcome home.
But I'm still wondering if I've gone back in my body or if my body got transferred somewhere else.
Well, you can't go back in your body, sister, because there is no body. You're not.
Okay.
You're not a physical being. You're not a man or a woman. You are God. The only real you is the spiritual aspect of you. Because man has a lifetime, and it says of only 120 years, but very few make that. You understand? But God is forever. So, you know you have an inner vision, an inner heart, and an inner hearing. In other words, the Most High is inside of you. So that, you know, you have two physical eyes, but when you close them, you can still see things. That's with your mind's eye, third eye, or the all-seeing eye, or the eye of all. God inside the temple. You follow me? So when you say leave your body is only a fungus that's attracted to the light, the real you. When you're inside of your mother during procreation in the womb, as she walks the physical plane, she has a special organ in her nasal cavity so that when she's breathing, she inhales air, and people that have previously passed away, their body is breaking down in the grave, and the particles work up through the soil and freely float in the meticulous of the atmosphere. And you have a DNA code or blueprint that's calling on certain specific things to recreate your physical form, like as in what you see in the mirror. And when she inhales them, they go through a circulatory system and they hit that light that's inside of her for 3 months prior to physical contact, and these particles cling to the light to form your hands and feet and face, etc. It's like the invisible man putting on clothes so that people can see him in the physical world. Your body is just clothing your flesh. It's nothing but an outfit that the real you, the spiritual you, changes like seasonal clothes, like you have winter clothes and summer clothes, you know what I mean? That's all your body is. It's just it's a filth, a fungus clinging to the light. But that's so hard to get people to understand. And it frightens them because the white man has taught them about Casper, and they think that the spirit has something to do with ghosts and death and all these things. The spirit is life, the only life you ever knew or ever will know. Your spirit is what gives life to that thing you call a body. It's like your car parked outside is dead until you get in it and start it up. It's not giving you life. You're giving life to it. You got it backwards in this world. And people get angry, frustrated, and confused when you try to explain to them the reality. They don't have time for that. They're too busy living life to listen to me. You understand? And I try to break the programming, and they like, brother, I don't have time. I'm thinking to myself, why? Because you're missing your favorite program? I'm not programmed, and I got to go because I'm missing my favorite right. I'm no program, nigga. I hear you. You got more important things to do than learn reality before you die. You got much more pressing and urgent business. The real things that's important to you that you can't take with you. The things that are fleeting. With every second, you get closer to the grave and further from birth. I understand. I'm trying to hear you, but I sound like static and white noise in the background, right? The only thing that you hear that's relevant is what I'm trying to tell you. The rest of it means nothing. Say it again.
So
Speak up.
perhaps you can teach us how to detach rather, because some people are literally so attached to their body that it's impossible, it's more hard work for them to do. Perhaps you can teach.
I know it's hard work, but if they're not capable enough to find the inner strength and focus to give me the opportunity to guide them back awake, then unfortunately they'll be among the losers. They are left behind. You're looking at the walking dead. These are the inmates of hell. You follow me? Because they're searching for heaven outwardly. That's what they try to work to create, is some kind of a heaven on earth like the devil. That if they achieved it, they couldn't survive it. They can't take it with them. It's a temporal abode. All this life is on earth is a brief intermission between two eternities, the eternal past and the eternal future. It's a shooting star. You see, time to you, 1,000 years to you is just like a day to us. Seriously. You better wake up, because your day is ending. Okay, go ahead, sister. Just speak up clear and loud.
Amun, thanks for the explanation on the, what they call the witch riding the back situation. I experienced that years ago, more than once as well. So I'm glad for that explanation, what that really, really meant. Yeah.
I'm glad, and I really am happy that I gave through some light and blind corners for you. That's why I say welcome home, sister, because this is where you belong. There are certain people that belong here with us, the elite few, the chosen, and many that don't belong here. Because as it said, 999 to the fire, only one to the garden.
Mm-hmm.
But those that are with me, behold Mount Zion. There stood a Lamb, and with him 144,000, dressed in white, with their father's name written in their foreheads. And many of you should be getting in touch with the sister Anukas so that you can pay for your white gowns right now and give her your measurements so she can put it together and send them to you in the mail. There's a lot of things you need to be doing for your eternity, your long home. And you're too distracted and involved in this temporary madness to think it's important, like donating to the mission to keep it going, or propagating the post, or even writing testimonies. You all have forgotten that this is something that's incumbent upon you. Nobody should have to ask you to write testimonies. You should be testifying to the truth to the world. You're not writing testimonies for me. You're writing them for all the brothers and sisters that are asleep right now, like you were just a very short time ago. Don't you see that when you put an effort and energy into waking up your brothers and sisters, you're actually exhibiting a soul, the emotional aspect of you that gives you the ability to care. That's an attribute of God, not an uncaring devil, a selfish demon. All right, what's that next question, family? Will, are you here? What is your question?
Like my first question was like the correct spelling of that website. We we could tap into
of our website. What was the question?
Like for the correct spelling of that website, where you say tap into the meditation.
Okay, Katan, are you here? Who can tell us the correct spelling of the website? Because I forgot. Who can send this brother to our website?
Is this Justin? I think he's asking about the meditation.
Yes, Yes, it's just.
I can send it to him. I can send it to him.
Okay, Zybe.
Adjust it to the phone.
Okay, do you know how to contact him, Zybe?
Yes, sir, on Telegram?
Yeah, like we communicate on Telegram.
Okay. Well, okay. But write down my email, son. I want you to write down my phone number because if you want to order something, you need to contact me directly. You got something to write with?
Yeah, I do.
478. No. 478. I don't need an intercessor. 478 454 4004. Again, that's 478 454 4004.
Yeah, I got it.
Now, email me at Orion, ORION, Orion 9, number 9, Star Mover. ORION, number 9, Star Mover, at gmail.com. Orion number 9, ORION, Orion number 9, Star Mover, STARMOVER, at gmail.com.
Yeah, I got it, thanks.
And all of you establish your personal direct link with me. Don't go through intercessors. Don't go through other people. You contact me directly yourself. This is your personal experience, your personal mission, and your personal obligation to yourself. It's very personal. You need direct contact with me so that I can reconnect you to the real creator that's inside of you. That's your salvation. You want to be in direct communication with the creator. So when you see me, you see the Father, because I and the Father are one. All right. Who else has a question?
Amun, you said like my second question, because I had two questions.
Okay.
And like my second question was like, who's the Most High? Because like I heard you like speaking on the Most High.
Believe it or not, we're all one. And the Most High is your inner being, is your higher self. You follow me? God inside the temple. Not the thing you see in the mirror, but the light that's inside of you. The Most High merely shared and you became. When he blew into your nostrils of his breath, that was a part of him from out of his being in the core of his essence that he shared with you. And you became. You follow what I'm saying? That's why biblically it says in John 10:30-36, Jesus speaking to the Jews in the first person, he said, I and my Father are one. The Jews took up stones again to stone him. He said, many good works have I shewed you from my Father. For which of those works do ye stone me? They said, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, because thou being a man, makest thyself God. Jesus answered them, is it not written in your law, I said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Or Psalms 82, verse 1 and 6, verse 1, God, capital D singular, standeth in the congregation of the mighty, he judgeth amongst the gods, small g, O-D-S. Verse 6, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Do you understand?
Sure.
Right. Yes, I get you.
Right. So, this God you're looking for is within you. You know, the Bible says the kingdom of heaven is where? It's within you, right?
Right.
Yes.
And it says God is in heaven, right?
Right.
Well, if God is in heaven and heaven is within you, then where's God? Within you.
Within me.
Right.
Within me.
So who's looking when you close your eyes? In other words, when you go to sleep at night and it's dark in the room and your eyes are closed, how do you see things in your dream? Who's looking?
The inner being.
That's God. In other words, let me take you further. But we had to go outside and perform miracles for the world. But now, when you have a dream and you see yourself and your woman or kids or friends and y'all out fishing or doing something in the world, you had dreams and it was so real, you couldn't wait to wake up and tell them, I saw you in my dream last night. We were doing this and that. Remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember having a dream that you saw?
Yes, sir.
And then you told somebody, I saw you in my dream last night. We was, you know, doing this or that. Well, my question is to you, who was that saw y'all doing that in the dream? In other words, if y'all was fishing in the dream, I saw us and we was fishing in my dream. Who was watching y'all fish?
I was.
Myself.
That's God. The all-seeing eye, that's God. And that's within you.
He who sits on the throne?
That's right. You see your Markaba or the sham, when you raise up to become enlightened with that light coming out your head, that is the Markaba, the movable throne. That is the craft. When you achieve illumination, like Buddha's, the enlightened one, or the aura, when you can raise your light up and vibrate above the physical, then you are enlightened. You are God. You are on the throne. Do you hear me? Because that aspect that he was all-knowing and eternal, and it has no pain, no death. When was the last time your spirit got hungry? Or cold? Or sleepy? Never. That's right. Then you have to, your sanctuary is in spirit. Don't let the devil make you afraid to be spiritual, because that's the only place you're going to find eternal life. You understand? And paradise. And you'll still be able to make love to your man and achieve that feeling. Do you understand? Because that tells you, that informs you that that feeling is not coming from your body, but from your inner being, where all feeling comes from. That's why when you have surgery and they administer a gas to put you under, like ether, that's related to the word Etherian, it raises up your vibrations so that your spirit ascends up out of your body. And people in emergency rooms, operating rooms, tell you that I was wide awake all the time and I was floating on the ceiling and I looked down and saw my body. I saw the doctors and the nurses working on me and all that. I heard everything they said. That was the real them. And they was working on that body and cutting it and all that, but you couldn't feel it because you had separated yourself from the physical body. You understand? That was God that was watching that body on the table. And if that body didn't make it and it died, would that make the spirit die, the real you that was watching? No.
No, sir.
No.
Get in touch with that. Do you understand how difficult my job is? I'm trying to get you all to reconnect with the reality of who and what you really are. Are you here, Will?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I believe earlier you mentioned that there was 7.
I gotta speak up louder, son, please.
I believe you mentioned earlier that there was 7 heavens. Is that
yes.
the case? And
yes.
Like, what does heaven? Okay, so I've actually heard of that through the Mormon religion. I'm not Mormon, but I've heard of it, and I thought that was, I thought that all of that was false. So, could you expand on that?
There's a lot of things you think. Okay, but there's 7 heavens or 7 degrees of heavens, because heaven is not layers of strata like people imagine the 7 heavens. If they were to draw an example on a chalkboard, they would show one horizontal line, then another one over for the second heaven, so and so ascending up like a ladder. Your spinal column is Jacob's ladder. But heavens are planes, what planes really are 7 planes that intricately woven modes of vibration, woven together so uniquely you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. In other words, let me say it again. The 7 planes of heavens are intricately woven modes of vibration, woven together so uniquely you can't tell where one ends or the other begins. Let me show you a simple substance like water at room temperature. It's a liquid, right? But when you put it in a rubber cup or plastic cup and put it in a freezer, it slows down the vibrations, right, son? And that liquid water becomes an apparent solid, like teeth and bones. You call it ice, am I right?
Right.
Okay. But if you take that ice and put it on a pot, in a pot on a stove under a high fire, the heat will raise up the vibrations till it starts converting back into a liquid again, right?
Right.
And if you leave it on, the water will start vibrating. You can see it tumbling and vibrating fast in the pot under the high fire, right? Please respond. You see the water vibrating faster. Okay. Well, as it's vibrating faster and faster, it converts into a spirit. You call it steam, right? Looks like a ghost, and it starts. Does it drop down to the floor like water or ice that's affected by gravity? No. It rises up, right? Up.
Right.
That's what raising your vibration does. It makes you ascend up. And if you leave the fire on long enough, it'll convert that spirit or steam into ether. And then when the pot is empty, I say, what's in the pot? You say nothing, right? But you can't get nothing from something. It's only energy in transit. So in order to get it back, you turn the fire off and let the kitchen cool. And the ether will condensate, and you start seeing little bitty drops of moisture on the ceilings and walls, right?
Right. Okay.
That's angels ascending up Jacob's ladder or the spinal column and descending again by raising and lowering vibration. That's how you get from heaven to earth. Understand that when you're in a cold, at the lowest possible point of being physical, somebody can step on you or shoot you with a gun or cut you with a knife, or disease can bring you down, or time can destroy you. But when you're an Etherian or even spirit, they can't touch you. You understand?
Yeah.
Remember when you were a child, you had that dream when you was floating on the ceiling with your back to the ceiling, and the bad people were jumping up trying to get you, but they couldn't quite reach you?
Similar to that.
That's right. Don't forget it. That was God trying to tell you, in the spirit, they can't, no harm can get you. No matter how close it seems, it can't really touch you. But if you really start thinking you're physical, that's the end of you right there. Just a matter of time. And time itself is an illusion. All this is an illusion. There's no time. Because tomorrow, it never comes. You have today, and you say you'll wake up tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, will you call it tomorrow, Will?
No, you call it today.
Every time you wake up, it's still today. There is no tomorrow. And there is no here and there. Everything's in the same place at the same time, vibrating on different frequencies. They know that, so phonetically, take the word there and take the T off. What does it spell?
Here.
Take the word where and take the W off. What does it spell?
Here. Here.
And if you supposedly die, you go to the where after?
Here after.
Everything is here and now. Now. There's no time or place. You follow me? You're the center of existence, and all things are equal distance from you. All of this is being projected from your mind, your imagination. Do you hear me?
Cool.
But people have got so trapped in the phantasmagoria, the illusion. In other words, your mind is so powerful. The mind of God is so powerful that you're making your dreams realer than your reality. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Cool.
And I'm trying to wake you up before times get beyond repair. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Before this dream turns into a nightmare. You hear me?
Cool. Yes.
And it sure is coming fast. All right. Well, I need you to step outside and tell me what you see in the sky. All of you. And Cheryl, are you here tonight from London?
I'm here.
I love you. We miss you. I want you to know that I was concerned because you've come such a long way. I don't want you to fall behind.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't intend to. I don't intend to.
I understand. I love you.
Yeah.
What do you see in the sky, Will? All of you should be outside looking up.
Yes. It's a sky full of stars.
The brightest star I see is right above me.
Right above you. Okay. Now we're going to do this together. All right. We're going to make that star go in a circle clockwise. Watch it. In the name of Amun-Rayay. You see it moving?
It's moving. I see it.
That's you, Will?
No, it's Kufu.
Okay, Kufu. Okay. But well, see, I'm trying to get him to understand. Until he can see it, he's too disconnected from the spiritual world. Like he said, he thought it was like 7 heavens or 7 planes was illusion. You follow what I'm saying? You got to understand what my job is. I'm trying to make him reconnect with the reality. You hear what I'm saying, Kufu?
Sure.
And I'm the only one that can really do that. If I can't do it, then he won't make it. You follow me? Okay, Will, let's look at that star. We're going to make that star raise up now in the name of Amun-Rayay. Everybody can see it, say something.
I see it going up.
All right. Now we're going to make it drop down.
Dropping down.
It just dropped down.
It's dropping down.
Okay.
Wait,
did you see any movement at all, Will?
To see it?
Will, could you see anything?
I just seen it drop down.
Okay, you did, Will?
Yeah, I just seen it drop down.
I love you. Okay, well, you starting to wake up now. You understand?
I just seen a bright shooting star. Right when he said he seen it dropping down.
That's right. So what I'm trying to say, Will, is this. What I'm doing for you, nobody else can do that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Understood.
No teachers, no gurus, you can't do it by yourself. The Creator loves you, and He sent us here in order to give you grace to save you. You understand? From this lie.
I understand.
And there's a lot of learned people in the world that are trying to give you the impression they know how to guide you, but do you think they have that real guidance?
No, I don't trust anybody.
No.
Teacher,
just remember what the real thing is. But know that we all have helpers, spiritual helpers, and if they, follow the plan, they will eventually emerge or evolve into that. Do you follow what I'm saying? As will you in time. But you're starting to realize that it's real now, right?
Yeah, we're disconnected. I see the disconnection in myself.
I love you. I really do. I really do love you.
Teacher,
all right, Cheryl in London, you see a sky full of stars?
Yes, I do.
Let's move the whole, we're going to move the whole creation, Cheryl and I. All creation, move to the left in the name of Amun-Rayay.
Okay, we have the start.
Move it to the left.
All the stars. All of them at once.
Move it to the left.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
You strong,
Move
man.
back to the right.
Move back to the right. Loads of stars. Wow. Orion.
To the right.
Am I supposed to be able to?
Yeah, you're supposed to be
Am I
able to see
supposed to
it.
be able to view this?
Yes.
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to see it. All creation, raise up.
You can't see that. It's daytime.
Okay. All right. All creation, drop down 1 second, brother. I'll be with you. I'll help you.
The sun is rising now.
Dropping down.
Dropping down.
Dropping down.
Okay. Now, if somebody in Africa said the sun was dropping down,
The sun is rising.
Yeah,
okay, so where you are, the sun is still up, right? Right?
Yeah.
Where are you located?
The sun is rising now. In Nairobi.
You're in Nairobi?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's daytime there, okay. But you've been listening, right?
Yeah.
So you saw
Yeah.
Will and I, you see what it is, did you see the sun move? Okay. I'll move the sun to the left for you. Now back to the right. Now I'll raise the sun up. Now I'll drop it down. Now, if you don't see that, not to worry, just stay close, and not only will you eventually be able to see it happening, but you'll be able to do it yourself. You hear me, brother?
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I can't see any stars move, brother?
Okay, you can't see any stars. Look and see if you can see one above your head. You see one above your head?
Yes, directly above my head.
All right. In the name of Amun-Rayay, move to the left. Now move back to the right, in the name of Amun-Rayay.
Moving right.
Moving right.
It's moving right.
Okay, now raise up in the name of Amun-Rayay.
Oh, he's raising up.
Raising up.
It's raising up.
All right. Drop down in the name of Amun-Rayay.
Dropping down.
Wait,
all right, brother. You see any movement at all?
Okay. I think I'm looking at the brightest star in the right above me. Is that what I'm supposed to be looking at? But I do see a smaller star that looks to be like it's moving.
Whichever one is moving, that's the one that I was moving, okay? Because stars don't move. You see what I mean?
Okay, can you do it again, brother?
Yes. Which one are you focusing on?
I'm looking at the brightest one right above me.
All right, then that's the one we'll focus on. All right, I'll move that clockwise.
It's going.
I think I see it moving. It's moving.
That's right, it is. You seem surprised.
It's moving clockwise. You said clockwise.
It's moving.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. I am the real Messiah, son. You hear me?
And also
but I'm here to wake you up to the reality that this is what you really are too, in truth. You hear what I'm saying, son? They don't want you to know that you're God. You follow me? Do you hear me? They don't want you to know that you're God. They want you to think you're just a black nigga, that's all. And you're going to live until you die. And you go to the grave and that's the end of the story, right? But you are a divine being. You are one with all and all is one with you. All of you people that just bore witness to this, write a testimony. Let the world know what you saw. So other people that didn't know what you just found out can read your testimony in your own words and then email that testimony to me at Orion9, ORION number 9, Star Mover @gmail.com. That's very, very important. Write your testimonies and email them to me, all right, family?
Brother, I don't want to be blasphemous, but may you do it one more time? Like just one more time?
That's not blasphemous. That's not blasphemous.
Okay.
That's not blasphemous. That's inquiring minds. Okay. Now, which way you want it to move? Up. Now drop down. Now we'll go in a circle counterclockwise. Now we'll bring it closer to you. Huh?
I just saw it.
That's right. I follow you.
I seen another shooting star right when that happened again. Another.
Yes, exactly. Well, you're just waking up, that's all. You're just waking up. And it's okay to be excited because it's the most exciting thing there is. To wake up as an enocyte, a forgetful being, and realize that you are really God. What could be more wonderful than that? It should remove all fear from you to know that you can't get sick, you can't die, you can't go to hell. Because you're not that body, you're only watching all this happen from above. Are you following me? Your body in this reality is like a puppet stage. And I'm teaching you how to control the strings right now. You hear me?
So it was a very faint circular motion. Like you have to be focused on it to see it.
That's right. You have to. But not only that, but you have to reignite the deity inside of you. In other words, it's already ignited, but you have to connect to the reality of who. Because you didn't see that you saw that with your mind's eye. You understand? This is all happening in heaven by God, because when you can see or move stars, you're no longer vibrating on the mortal frequency. You've elevated to God. You understand?
I could see a cloud coming. There's a cloud in the sky here.
You creating that?
I didn't.
And I'm gonna tell you something, sister. Don't be alarmed, but that craft may be you. You hear me?
Yeah.
That's what I mean by spoofer. Turning yourself inside out into a craft. All of these wonderful things are true. And I am here as the Messiah with the grace as a Savior to save you from this death and hell and wake you up to the reality of who and what you really are. I am Nitir, authority, Amun-Rayay, Asa, the real Messiah. Do your job, stay close, support the mission. We are one. Peace.